Welcome to the top 10 most anticipated comics for February 22nd, 2023. I'm Mike Spider-Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. Guys, it's never too early to start that pull list for next week, and hopefully this list helps you make decisions of what comic books to buy. But before we dive into it, guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to Whatnot. Guys, download the Whatnot app today. It's absolutely for free. I'll leave it in my link in the description box below, where once you click on that link, download the app, you will get a $15 credit off of your first purchase off of any auction, right? Doesn't have to be comics. It can be Legos, it can be Hot Wheels, it can be building blocks, anything that you're into. Free $15. All you got to do is click on the link below, and of course, that 15 bucks is for you. So don't forget, guys, Whatnot. All right, guys, so here we go. We're going to talk about the book that's on the hot seat. And this week's book that's on the hot seat is Superman issue 1. This new Superman series is written by Joshua Williamson, and the artist is done by Jamal Campbell. If there's a time to jump on a Superman book, it's now. And there was a time where I actually read Superman, and that was when Peter J. Tomasi wrote the character, and I thought it was absolutely awesome. Ever since Brian Michael Bendis took it over, I tried a few issues, I didn't like it. I currently didn't read the most recent series, so now I'm going to jump on. I'm going to see what's going to happen. Supposedly Lex Luthor's in jail. Superman's going to own this corporation. I don't even know what's going to happen, but this is the time to jump on. I'm crossing my fingers. Hopefully it is good. 32 pages, $5. The book that's on the rise, this one goes to Inferno Girl issue 2. First issue was actually pretty good as we got introduced to our main character, her mom, how her mom was a journalist. She followed the Inferno Girl Red. Maybe she was the past Inferno Girl Red. I don't know. And we get to see this young girl go to college. And then all of a sudden, this city winds up being lifted up and taken somewhere else, and our young girl winds up becoming Inferno Girl Red for the first time, and she's not sure if she wants to be the hero or not. Love the artwork, love the story, love the characters. Looking forward to issue 2. Let's hope it continues to be solid. Another huge book. It's 56 pages, $6. Guess we want to officially kick off this countdown with number 10, and number 10 goes to Barbaric, Hell to Pay. This is issue 2. Every single volume of this series has been awesome, as it's been slowly continuing the story of Owen, who is a barbarian cursed with an axe that lusts for blood. However, in the first issue, he really wasn't in that issue all that much, except for the very end, and we get to see a lot of his supporting cast. Now, his supporting casts are quite interesting characters, but they're not quite the same as Owen himself. This is kind of like an R-rated Thor book, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that because there's a lot of cursing, there's some nudity, there's some stuff in there. It's just an adult book, right? And I really enjoy it. Looking forward to this issue. It is a $5 comic. Coming in at number 9, we're going to see how this goes. This is DC Lazarus Planet Omega issue 2. So we got like the alpha, and then we got all those like one shots of what's going on with all the different heroes. And, you know, I was kind of like, you know, wanted to read a couple of them, and then I found out that they were really kind of bad and pointless. So I stopped reading this. But now that we have this Omega issue, it gets back to the original writer who wrote the Alpha issue, which I think was Joshua Williamson, if I remember, or Mark Waid. I think it was Mark Waid. And so I want to see what this issue has to offer and how it's going to change the DC universe going forward. So we'll see what happens. 48 pages, $6. Coming in at number 8. We have Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. This is issue 4. This has been a great story for me as we get to see two characters develop their relationship in an apocalyptic world, and they have to overcome a ton of obstacles with each other, and they're two totally different personalities, and now they're escaping these characters by the name of the Rangers. It's an absolutely great story. I can't wait to see what issue 4 has to offer and how things wind up get to the point to where they're at in the future. Number 7, we have Nightwing issue 101. Now that the 100th issue is over and we get the talk of Superman, Wonder Woman, and Nightwing out of the way, where they asked him to be part of the Justice League, and he decides, you know what, screw the Justice League, we're gonna be the Titans again, and the Titans Tower is gonna be in Bloodhaven. So we're getting all that stuff now going forward with Nightwing. I'm curious to see how these events are going to transpire through the year when it comes to Nightwing and him being in charge of the entire planet. And eventually, you know, we know the Justice League is gonna come back, so we're gonna see how Nightwing deals with this great responsibility, right? So looking forward to it. We'll see what happens. Another lengthy comic book, 40 pages for $5. Number 6, a lot of DC comic books you're noticing in this week's particular countdown. We have DC's War of Undead Gods, issue 6 of 8. Seems like a little while since this book has come out. It's dropped a little bit on my list because I feel like this DC series has not been as strong as previous volumes, and I like to see something a little bit more. I feel like there's been a little bit of a stall. We kind of feel like we know who's going to be the hero of the story, which is Lobo, because he's immune to this disease that's going on. But what I always liked about Deceased is like the shock value that's in there, and who characters are going to be good, who are going to be bad, who's going to become like a zombie, who's going to be not. And I love the artwork and the gore that's in this book as well, because there's always those times where your mouth is jaw dropped and you're like, whoa, I can't believe Tom Taylor just did that, right? So this book is 32 pages and this one's $5. All right, moving on to top 5. We got a Marvel book to talk about, Strange Academy Finals. This is issue 4. The end game has begun. That's right, guys. We're getting ready to get to the end of this series. I think there's 2 more after this one because the legacy numbering is 22, and I heard that they're ending in 24. So yeah, this book has been fun ever since the very beginning. It's had great character development with the kids that are in the Strange Academy. They all started off all hunky-dory. Now they're all divided. Emily is the leader of one side. We get to see Doyle, who's behind the other, and these two had a relationship with each other. And yeah, that's really about it. It's been heating up. It's getting a little bit darker. The thing that I want to know, that once this series is over and Scotty Young is done and Roberto Ramos is done, who's going to take over these characters? Where are they going to go? And is that #1 issue still going to hold its value after this series is done? I guess it depends on the movie, where most of these comic books depend on their value these days, right? So again, legacy numbering 22, 28 pages, $4. Coming in at number 4, we have Something is Killing the Children. This is issue 29. Always a great book. We have Erica Slaughter, who is on the run as we get this other house that's chasing her called the House of Cutter, who takes down members that are no longer worthy to be part of their house. And this one is a little like, she likes to play with her prey, and you can see in the last issue there is a lot of tension building. And as the reader, when you're reading this comic book, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this just happened. What's going to happen? You're like turning the pages anxiously, and that's what I got at the end of that last issue, which makes for a great comic. And then at the end of the day, she lets Erica Slaughter go, and she's like, you're gonna do this and this and this, and I'm gonna chase you, I'm gonna play with you for a little bit, and then I'm gonna kill you. I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait. So this is awesome. The final hour for Erica Slaughter has begun, and this is 32 pages, and this is $4. All right, coming in at number 3, has been a solid book since I started reading it. This is The Flash, issue 793, The 1 Minute War, part 4. Great story here with all the Flash characters, the Flash kids, as they're trying to stop this invasion from Earth that's actually happening. Last issue, we got to see the 2 kids interact with each other. They stole a vehicle, and inside this vehicle had heroes in it, and they were frozen. So it's like you got the strongest heroes that are still alive, but since they're not connected to the Speed Force in any way, they are absolutely frozen and can't help. So what are our Flash characters going to do to stop this invasion? Still yet to be determined. And is Iris going to live? Because supposedly she's dead, but I don't think she is. I think she's frozen too. So we'll see. This is an awesome story. 32 pages, $4. Great artwork as well. Coming in at number 2. More DC. We have Batman Superman World's Finest issue 12. This is a great story that's getting ready to happen. This is the secret behind the Supergirl and Robin feud, okay? So if you have read World's Finest, which I think most of us have at this point, you realize that Mark Waid really knows how to write these characters, and the character interactions between everybody have been awesome. And in the beginning of this run, we have gotten to see what's it called? Robin and Kara not get along with each other, but we never really knew why. So this issue is going to dive into that, and I cannot wait. I think this is going to be a comical issue, and also that Dan Mora artwork, you cannot deny that. So good. Can't wait for it. 32 pages, $4. So remember, guys, after number 1, we are not done, as we have the noteworthy comics to talk about, and there are a lot of them this particular comic book week. But this week's number 1 most anticipated for the 22nd winds up going to Specs, issue 4. This is the final issue. This has been the story of 2 boys who've come across X-ray glasses and can make wishes, right? Well, what happens when they just make one too many wishes? You're going to find out at the end of this issue, I'm sure, or during this issue. And in the last issue, we wound up finding out where these specs came from, the history behind them. Oh my God, this series has been so good. I never thought it was going to be this good when it first came out. And I wish there was more of this. Maybe there'll be a volume 2, but definitely a great series. If you haven't checked it out, I'm sure there'll be a trade when it comes out. This one's done by Boom as well. And yeah, go read it. All right, guys, so here we go. The noteworthy comic books for the week. You're going to wonder where all the Marvel books were. Well, they're in the noteworthy, not in the top 10 most anticipated. And the first one we're talking about is The Amazing Spider-Man issue 20, part 2 of that Black Cat and Peter Parker story. We have Thor issue 31. This is good, but it's not as good as Donny Cates, if that makes sense. This just seems like there's a lot going on in it, like makes my brain hurt, but it's still good. It's just not in my top 10, right? And then we have She-Hulk issue 10, which I enjoy. It's a cute story, you know, but it's just not, it's not getting me excited to where I once was so excited for this series to come out. I just feel like it kind of drags along a little bit too much. And then we have Carnage issue 10, which I actually dropped because same thing, just not enough goes along in it. It just seems a lot of like stagnant storytelling when it comes to Marvel Comics these days, right? And then we have Deadpool issue 4, which I loved issue 1 and 2. Issue 3 fell way down for me. So issue 4, we're going to see where it goes, and if it doesn't pick up, I'm going to wind up dropping it. All right, so now we're going to go to DC Comics. We have Wonder Woman issue 796. This is a Valentine's Day issue, so if you care about Valentine's Day and Wonder Woman, which I don't, there you have it. Then we have Catwoman issue 52. Some gorgeous looking covers, so you might want to check out those variant covers. I don't know about the story though. And then we have Batman One Bad Day Clayface issue 1, so we still got those stories going on. And then we have some independent comics where we have Saga issue 62, which I'm enjoying as well. Great cliffhanger at the end of the last issue, but I just can't get super excited for the story because it's been on again, off again. It's like a relationship, right? It's just like, make a decision. Are you going to stay on or are you going to jump off, right? And then we have Scorched issue 15, which I made the decision so I could save some money is to only read one Spawn book, and that's going to be Gunslinger because I love that book. And then we have a really highly, I should have put this in my highly anticipated, but I wasn't sure. And this is Local Man issue 1. This is Tony Fleece. I think this is the guy who wrote Stray Dogs. So hopefully this book is going to be just as good as Stray Dogs. This is Local Man's, another like superhero book, I guess. And then if you're into Dynamite and you're into, you know, Draculina, we have Draculina Blood Simple. This is issue 1. So there you guys have it. There are my most anticipated and noteworthy comics for February 22nd, 2023. The year's going by fast already, isn't it? So if you guys like it, you know what you got to do. And if you want to watch more content, I got more content right here for you. This is my top 10 comic book covers of the week. Make sure you vote on your favorite. And of course, guys, as always, keep buying, keep collecting, but always read your comic books. And guys, I'll see you tomorrow on New Comic Book Day.